Hello again. One more of these ratio problems, or maybe more than one, but at least for this video, just one. Occasionally what happens is that you will be confronted with a geometry problem on the SAT, which ultimately is a ratio problem. Let's look at this for a second. So it says, this triangle here, A to B to C, has an area of 24, and we want to know what is the length of this, of DE. Well, the reason we know that this is going to be a ratio problem is that it's a small triangle buried within a larger one. Let's split these up just a little bit. So supposing, oops, they have it backwards. Never mind. I don't like that. All right, I'm going to just freehand sketch. Apologies again for how awful it's going to look, but let's say this is our small triangle, and then the big triangle would be this one. Okay? I know, this is horrific in terms of proportionality and, straightness of lines, but yeah, get used to it, okay? This is going to be abstract math. This is good for you. Alright, but anyway, okay, so when we have smaller triangles, so this is supposed to be the small one, put that in brown, it's this one, and then the whole thing is the large triangle, we'll put that in, I don't know, I guess red. The whole thing is this. Well, how do we match up the sides? Well, it looks like we have this side here, this 6, is going to correspond to whatever the length of this side is, A to C. And I don't know what it is, but I do know a portion of it is 6, and the other portion of it is unknown. So I'm just going to put that as 6 plus X. Pause the video if you're stuck on that. I just basically said, okay, the entire length here is 6, right, plus something. Okay? So then, the other thing we know is that this portion here is 6, and we don't know what this one is. I'll just put it as Y. That matches up with this here. That's what we're trying to figure out. And then we don't know anything about these lengths here and here, though those would also be matched up. Okay? Well, let's see what we can do. It says that the big triangle has an area of 24. So if we think about it, to find the area of a triangle, all we have to do is the area of a triangle is equal to whatever the base length is times the height and all that divided by 2. Look this up if this is something that you're unfamiliar with. But, okay. So if we know the area is 24, right, and what do we know? We know at least the height is 6, so we have unknown base times 6 divided by 2, well, what would the base have to be in order for this to be true? Well, we can just kind of solve this, right? So look at it, we can say that's the same thing as 2 over 6. We can simplify this as that's 24 is equal to 3 times b. Divide both sides by 3, and that gets us to the base has to be equal to 8. So this total length right here is just 8. Okay. Alright. So now, let me clear this out. Give us a little bit more space. So then, our base is 8. So then, the question is, what is this height right here? Let's put it in my favorite color. Let's put it in pink. We're trying to figure out what is that. Well, this is supposed to correspond to that, right? But we have a match here. We know that this is 8, and we know that that is 6. So let's set up a ratio. Let's see. So 6. Oh, that's too pale. I can't even see that. Let's do. Running out of colors here. We'll just go back to blue again. So the 6 matches up with the Y. So I'm going to set that up. 6 matches up with the Y. And this bottom base here, which we know is 8, matches up with that base right over there, which we know is 6. So let's do that. That 8 matches up with the 6. So to figure out what Y would have to be, all we'd have to do is just cross multiply. So that gets us to 6 times 6, that's 36, is equal to 8 times Y, which is 8Y. And then we would just divide both sides by 8 to figure out what Y is. And that gets us to, oh gosh, it's going to be some sort of fraction. y is equal to 36 divided by 8. Oh man, I can do this. 36 we can divide by 2. What is that? That's a 20. No, 18 over 4, which is the same thing as 9 over 2. Okay, so that would be, on the SAT, that would be our answer. We could write either 9 over 2, or if this was a calculator question, you could use a calculator and that would tell you that's 4.5. Anyway, if that was confusing, let me know, and I will expand more on setting up ratios with similar triangles.